No! This is my war, not yours!
What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about God of War, Loki and Odin. Would they and should they ever work together? Now, before I get started with this video, I put out a poll and a lot of you guys agreed with me that Loki and Odin would actually work. Wait, hold on. Wait. You guys actually don't agree with me for once? Usually in these polls, I usually get, responses that, I figured I'd get, but this time, it's completely the opposite. So, I want to begin this theory by talking about time. Time in this game seems to be very odd, whether it's being the future or time moving differently in other realms. When Kratos and Atreus stepped foot in Jotunheim and they came back, Mimir told them that a lot of time has passed between the time they stepped in and when they came out.
Before we return to Midgard, I should warn you, more time has passed than you want to realize. The snowfall that began when you slew Balder has become something else. The stuff of omens.
Mimir dropped a line that time does in fact move differently.
A big theme about time, and I don't know if I fully understand it. I gotta like beat this game like 5 more times, but it's, Atreus or Kratos going into the light and the time being different, and then Mimir has a line about Helheim moving slower than Midgard.
Time is obviously going to play a huge role in the next game, and I need you guys to keep this in mind as we move forward with this theory. Another thing you need to keep in mind is Odin's strength. Odin's strength doesn't come from fighting. Corey said it's not about punching you in the face, but Odin's real power lies in his strength of manipulation. He is a mastermind when it comes to manipulating people. In the game, after the Balder fight, Mimir mentions that Odin may have been feeding him even more lies to enhance his rage, so he can do what Odin wants him to do as he builds his hate for Freya. He was pretty much manipulating him for years. And speaking of Freya and Odin's manipulation, Corey himself said that Odin actually manipulated Balder and Freya. When Freya wanted to leave him, he said, okay, I 1 am going to brand you a traitor, and 2, take our son, we make him hate you, and he's gonna come on my side. I'm gonna take him and he's gonna despise you.
Right? She's still dealing with the fact that Odin is a giant douche, right? And the things that he did to her, right? Because he's the psychological warrior, right? Odin is kind of this character that he's not about punching you in the face, right? He's about, the psychological manipulation of saying, we're going to get a divorce, and I'm going to make your son choose me, right? How messed up is that?
The fact of the matter is, Odin's true strength, unlike Zeus, which is all about power, Odin seeks knowledge, and he is a master at manipulation. He manipulates the giants, Tyr, he manipulates everybody in his life so he can get his way. So now that we have confirmed knowledge that time moves differently in different realms and in different places, compared in reference to Midgard, also know that Odin is a master manipulator, so let me start talking about my theory.
This is our story.
No. This is your story.
My theory is at some point in the next game, Thor actually shows up, similar to how he did at the end of the game when Atreus was having these visions. I think in this fight, Kratos is bound to lose. Even though Brock and Sindri said that the Leviathan axe is pretty much a counter to Thor's hammer, I think that Kratos would actually lose this fight. And not only will he lose this fight, he will eventually die. Similar to how we see at the mural at the end of the game. I think Thor is gonna hit him and is gonna come out of nowhere and actually kill Kratos, which leads to the birth of Jormungandr, again similar to what we've seen in the wall at the end of the game. Atreus is holding Kratos as he begins to die, and then blackness. Kratos wakes up and looks around him. It's dark, it's cloudy, and he realizes where he is. He's in Helheim. However, not the part he knows. However, he seems to be across the bridge, a place where Freya and Mimir said to never go. He calls his Leviathan axe, and of course it comes right to him. he now begins to try to search for a way out of hell, similar to how he did in pretty much every other God of War game. He's always trying to get out of hell. In there, he faces a lot of trials and tribulations. He's reminded of his past over and over again. Zeus appears. His wife and daughter appears. I think his wife and daughter is bound to make an appearance because in one of my news videos, the writers had said that Kratos might actually talk about him killing his daughter in the next game that will actually come up. After overcoming these trials and tribulations because they no longer haunt him because he forgave himself at the end of God of War 3, which probably stops him from having the visions all the time, finally makes his way out of hell. However, it took a massive amount of time in order to get out. Escaping hell, he returns to Midgard. Winter seems to be ending now. And as he remembered, Mimir said at the end of winter, Ragnarok will begin. However, he goes to his house and Atreus is nowhere to be found. Atreus has been on his mind since he woke up, and he feels awful, the fact that he's not there. He sees no other choice but to pursue the last person who has seen Atreus, Thor. Heading to Tyr's vault, he intends to go to Asgard to confront the god of thunder. Brock and Sindri are there, and they told him that Thor might have taken Atreus, and they give him the rune to travel to Asgard. Kratos begins his own journey. He makes it to Asgard. There he encounters enemies, other gods, and has to get his way through them. And finally, he finds Thor. After a confrontation and Kratos now ready and now on guard, they begin to battle. Remember, the Leviathan axe is a counter to Thor, so this time, now that he's ready for a battle, Kratos can actually fight Thor, and Thor is having a hard time knocking him out again. Suddenly, a man with a bow shoots at both of them, landing right in the center, landing right in the middle of Thor and Kratos. An adult Atreus now faces both of them. Kratos, relieved, drops the Leviathan axe and starts running towards his boy. However, Atreus pushes him away, striking him down with a power Kratos had never seen before. This adult Atreus hasn't stopped his training. Together, Atreus, Loki at this point as he goes by, and Thor fight Kratos together. Overwhelmed by the power of Loki and Thor, Kratos drops to his knees, unable to beat the both of them. Loki and Thor escort a beaten Kratos to Odin. Odin calls for his blood brother Loki to stand by his side, Thor as well, and the three of them stare down at Kratos that is on his knees. Kratos stares at Atreus and says, "What happened to you?" And Loki says, "I no longer believe your lies." Now, why do I believe this will happen? Now, let me break it down. First, let's talk about Atreus in this scenario. I think that Thor's mission is to not avenge his sons. Maybe that's part of it, but I think that he just wants to get Kratos out of the way so he can take Loki. Remember, after Balder found out that Kratos was not the one he wanted, he tried to take Atreus. I think that Thor is doing the same thing in the next game. I think that Thor takes Atreus to Asgard. There, Atreus is a prisoner, but Odin is slowly working him, manipulating him, and feeding him these things to make him hate Kratos, his own father. Now, what is some of the things that he could possibly say? One of the things he could say is that he can reveal the truth of what happened to Kratos, his wife, and his daughter. How Kratos killed his past family. Odin could so easily twist this as Kratos will eventually take out Atreus. So that's so easily there. He can also show him other acts of his past. How Kratos destroyed a whole mythology. And again, Odin is sprinkling in these lies, same as he did with Balder, to further make Atreus question his loyalty to Kratos. Eventually, Odin lets him out of his imprisonment. He gives him freedom. He starts bribing him, working him, playing to his own advantage to get Atreus, the final giant, on his side. Remember, he is a master manipulator. This came out of Corey's mouth, and I think that is going to play a huge role in the next game as well. Corey also said in several interviews that Atreus now has this choice. He can become Loki, the person that his mother wanted him to be, or he become Atreus. He now has these two separate paths. In God of War 2018, we were using Atreus, but in the next game, he might go by Loki, somebody with a totally different personality. Atreus is still young and impressionable. At the end of the day, he's probably the easiest person Odin has tried to manipulate. Now let's talk about Loki's age. Why is he older? Remember, time is going to play another major role in the next game, due to the interview I just showed you. I think Kratos being in Helheim and maybe Asgard moves slower than every other realm. However, in the realm, time moves normally. Maybe for them, winter is not ending in 3 years related to Midgard. Maybe for them, 3 years is 20 years. Time and different realms move differently. We don't know the capability of Asgard when it comes to time. It's very interesting how time can work, but I think that in the next game, we're going to see a much older Atreus. Again, he's been fed these lies, and he truly has become Loki of Asgard. And I think that this version of Loki is going to be the version of Loki we see in real Norse mythology. Now, I promised you guys that I will have longer theories. This video is already over 10 minutes, so I'm going to have a part 2 to this video tomorrow. I don't really do part 2s too much, but this video needs a part 2, further bridging together all my information I want to share with you guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, another part is coming tomorrow. More God of War videos are coming, more theories, more analysis, and things like that. So, definitely hit that like button. I'm going to be out here. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces.